What's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of Football Talk. That's right, Football Talk episode 15. I'm coming at you December 29th, 2 days away from New Year's Eve, right before the turn to 2014. And we're getting ready for some NFL and some bowl games coming up. I'll bring in Kyle a little bit later to help us out. Shout out to Kyle Lance. Follow him at Kyle Lance30 on Twitter. I am IA_Marksman on Twitter. I had to get the self-plugs out of the way early. That way we didn't confuse anybody with self-plugs later on. Not really. I just wanted to put it right there at the beginning because if you listen to the first 30 seconds, then you can hear the self-plug, and, you know, that's how I roll. So, we're going to be talking about NFL today, last week of the regular season. Cannot believe it's the last week of the regular season. Hard to believe. And then we're going to be doing some bowl preview. Up until the next week will actually be the good old national championship pick. But right now, it's just going to be the kind of the bowls leading up to it for this coming week as we count down and go down to the last couple of days of the year. I hope everybody had a good Christmas. I know I did. I'm not going to be going over the scores because, again, since it's been a week, there's really no reason to. They've been all over the news and everything, so hope everybody had a good holiday, whatever you celebrate, and hopefully everybody's getting kind of geared up and ready to go back to college or school, depending on what's going to happen. So this is how I kind of want to start off this football talk. I'm going to get Kyle on the phone here in a couple seconds, and then we'll go ahead and proceed with the actual football talk, breaking down the NFL games and the bowl games for this year. So we'll see what happens. Well, hello there, Kyle. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. We got up early this morning to do this. I was thinking, I need to get it out of the way because I got a bunch of stuff to do too. So, we should jump right into it. I think we're going to start off with the NFL picks, and then we'll move into the bowl preview for this coming week. How's that sound?
Sounds good.
All right. Let's see. I need to turn up your volume. All right. There we go. Okay, so first game on the list. Let's see. Panthers head into Atlanta to take on the Falcons this weekend. Panthers, who are only 4-3 on the road this year. I think the Panthers will win this game, but you never know. The Falcons, they have their moments of glory, but they'll probably get picked six at the end and lose the game again.
Oh. It could be worse. They could have no Pro Bowlers. Oh, wait. That is worse. Okay.
Thanks.
I think the Falcons are going to fight this game. I think they'll be ready to play. I just think the Panthers are going to be ready. They know what happened last year in Atlanta. What happened to them? That's when the Falcons caught all those breaks last year. They're not catching up this year. So I think Ken goes in there with come out and get a first-round top and win, and they do that. We'll be close, though.
Yeah.
By 3.
Yeah. I think it will be a good game, but I think Panthers will win. They're a little bit more on a roll at this point and go 12-4. That'd be pretty cool to see. The Ravens head into Cincinnati to take on the Bengals, who are 7-0 at home this year, so have not lost. And the Bengals are pretty hot right now. Dalton has 4,000 yards and 31 touchdowns. So,
one of the more good quarterbacks in the league.
Yep. And compared to Flacco, Flacco has a bunch of yards, but he only has 18 touchdowns. So, which they're 8-7. They could make the playoffs with a win here and a couple losses from the Dolphins and from the Chargers. But I think the Bengals will win this game. At home, especially, They'll probably wear their orange unis. They only wear those like twice or 3 times a year, so we'll see.
I'm going to pick the Bengals as well. I just think that the Ravens are struggling. Their offense, I mean, they just lost so many people in the offseason. It's just hard to recover. And I just think the Bengals at home, like you said, the Bengals at home are tough to beat. And the Ravens won't make the playoffs. They will not have a chance to defend their crown. They will get bounced from the playoffs.
Wow.
Yep.
Yep. What a year of NFL. There's a lot more closer matchups than it used to be.
Yep.
The Texans head into Nashville to take on the Titans. Oh boy. I'm gonna pick the Titans to win this game. Just because they're at home. Last game of the season, they want to go 7-9, and the Texans want to go 2-14 so they can get the better draft pick. So yeah.
I'm going to pick the Titans as well. I think the Titans finished the season strong. I mean, losing Jake Locker for the rest of the season really hurt them, but they were fairly resilient and got some big wins. I just think they're on the rise, finishing a couple pieces. Defense wasn't too bad. They're going to, like I said, they're going to get a couple pieces. But they're on the rise. They're going to win as Texans lock up the number 1 pick in next year's draft to select Teddy Bridgewater.
Oh, wow. Over Johnny Manziel?
That's a stretch.
All right, there you go. From the source himself. There we go. All right, Jaguars head into Lucas Oil Field to take on the Colts. The Colts, they're having a decent year. They have 5 losses, but I really don't see it going to 6 losses today. They need this win, especially if the Patriots were to lose, then they would be able to get a good, probably jump up, actually. So I think they'll win, and they'll get their 11th win of the season.
I think they finished 11-5. Second straight year they will finish at 5. The Jaguars will keep it close. I think this will be a competitive game. The Jaguars have been playing great in the second half of the season, and they're on the rise as well. I just think the Colts, even without Reggie Wayne, still have enough weapons. Hopefully they even get the running game going before next week, because they need it. If not, then they're going to be in trouble next week in the playoffs.
Yep.
So I'm going to go with the Colts.
I agree. You got to get your running game going in the playoffs to win a Super Bowl. Unless if you're Joe Flacco and Champ Bailey just blows the coverage and yeah. All right, so the Jets head into Sun Life Field, the Jets are 1-6 on the road this season. Dear God, they head into Sun Life to take on the Dolphins. Dolphins need this win and need the Chargers and the Ravens to both lose to get into the playoffs for the first time since 2008. So. Who you got in this one, Kyle?
I got the Dolphins, and I think the Dolphins will get that final playoff spot. Possibly they're going to need help, but I think they win. I just think the Jets. I think Rex Ryan will stay around another year. I just think the Jets struggling. Gino really never got his feet under them. I mean, they get some big wins early, but they haven't looked good late. They just haven't. And the defense is fine. They really need a go-to wide receiver because they don't have that. The running game's okay, but they need to pick one and stick with him instead of switching between Powell and Ivory. I just think the Jets are, until they really fix their problems, which I think is in the front office. I don't think it's Rex Ryan or anybody. I think it's in the front office. They need to be quick, being so indecisive, and stick with one person. And I just think Dolphins. I think the Dolphins are going to smash this team. So.
Yeah.
Obviously, the Dolphins need I think it's a Chargers loss, or it would be a Chargers. Yeah, it was Chargers win because they held the head-to-head tiebreak. The Chargers win, and the Dolphins. I think the Dolphins will make the playoffs. We'll see. I pick the Chargers and Chiefs.
Yep. I'm gonna pick the Jets just because I want the Steelers to get in. So I'm picking the Jets. It's always fun to pick the Jets because you never know if they're gonna be bad, horrible, or good in a week. So we'll see what happens. But moving on to the last game in the Metrodome, the Lions head in there to the Metrodome. I cannot speak to save my life, man. take on the Vikings, who are 4-3 at home, but are also 4-10-1 overall. So Stafford with his 4,400 yards and 28 touchdowns versus good old Christian Ponder, who I don't think is going to get the start. I think Matt Castle should get the start.
Yeah. Peterson will not be playing.
Yeah. So I'm going to pick the Lions to bounce back and go 8-8 and miss the playoffs like they usually do. But you know what? The Vikings, they'll gather little losses and go 4-11-1. So, yep.
I mean, obviously in the offseason they're going to need a quarterback, but with the Lions, I'm going to kind of go on a mini rant. I'm not going to keep it short, but Schwartz has the talent on that team, 6-3, division in front of them with Cutler and Rodgers out, and look what they did. They pooped the bed. They went themselves, and that shows that I don't think Schwartz has enough discipline as a head coach, and I still think Schwartz is a very good head coach. He did take them back to the playoff, yes, but Stafford, some of the blame has to go on Stafford for his play recently. Quarterback rating in the fourth quarter is second worst, only the Rams beating. So, yeah, it's very hard to almost get close to beating Brandon Weeden in something that's the worst category in the league. So, not getting off to Calvin Johnson. I don't know what happened. I think Schwartz should be fired. And going on to the Vikings, I think they will be very competitive today in front of their home crowd. One last time in the Metrodome for outdoors for the next few years at the Minnesota TCT Stadium. I think Seattle has another good game, but I just think the Lions close out the Metrodome with a W as they try to salvage what is a disappointing season.
Yeah, if I'm the front office of the Lions, I'm going to go fire Schwartz and hire Lovie Smith.
Or Ken Whisenhunt.
Yeah, exactly. Somebody that can rebuild your team, maybe even pass it on to a younger coach later on, but still.
Honestly, Bruce Arians is a great coach, and what he's done with Arizona is fantastic. What did Whisenhunt do to get fired? One bad year with no quarterback?
Yeah. Well, same thing with Lovie Smith. He was 10-6.
Exactly. He just...
I know.
And yet Jerry Jones doesn't fire Jason Garrett after 3 8-8 seasons.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. All right. The Redskins. This is two favorite teams of yours, Kyle. Redskins and Giants. Redskins head into MetLife. They're 1-6 on the road. They should be 2-5, but they blew a 2-point conversion. Should just kick the field goal against the Falcons the other weekend. I don't know. They both suck. Manning has 26 interceptions and only 17 touchdowns. And guess what his yards is, Kyle? He has 3,666 yards.
What?
Yeah, he has 666 at the end. So, yeah, we know what's up.
Curse season.
Yep.
No.
Who you got taking this one?
Both these teams have struggled all year. I mean, just nobody in the NFC East plays defense. So, I think they just skipped the tutorial on defense this year, especially Monty Kiffin. I think Monty Kiffin was sleeping. I just think the Giants at home, one last game, just get to 7-9 on the year, get some momentum going into next year. Hopefully, they need a better defense. Need everybody healthy. And Eli Manning obviously has to play well, so I got the Giants today as the Redskins forfeit their pick to the Rams because of the trade for RG3, but they will lock up the number 2 pick in next year's draft and give it to the Rams who are building. So,
yeah, I'm going to pick the Giants to win this game. I think they should win. I don't know. It'll probably be a really boring game. But I think Cousins will have a good game. As usual, I think Cousins is a good quarterback. My dad really liked him whenever they saw him in Atlanta. Of course, it was against Atlanta defense, but still.
He's hard. I mean, he's a very good quarterback, and it's obviously going to be very hard to not do good against the Giants defense, but we'll see.
Yeah. The Browns head into the Steel City to take on the Steelers. Steelers need this win and need a lot of help to get into the playoffs. And I'm going to pick the Steelers to win this game. They're at home. They're playing hot. They're doing well. Came off a big win against the Packers. Should have been 5 seconds left on the clock, but I'm not going to really talk about it because it will give me ulcers for a week. But Steelers are going to win this game. Let's pray to God they do and hope that Chargers, Dolphins, and Ravens all lose to get the Steelers into the playoffs. So,
I'm going to go on the Steelers. I'm going to talk about the Steelers, what they've been able to do with the injuries they sustained early in the year, the losses that they departed, and some of the players that stepped up, like Antonio Brown, Lawrence Timmons, Ben Roethlisberger himself. To bring this team to a possible 8-8 finish, and I know it's a long shot, but a possible playoff, to me, is one of the best stories of the year. And obviously, you went through sideline gate with Tomlin, but I think Tomlin's done a phenomenal job with this team. This team has not been the most talented in Pittsburgh history. And honestly, this team is not very good at all, but he's guided them in the right direction, and they just played very well, which is good for them.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to pick the Steelers, but I'm going to get to the Browns for a second. I think the Browns are going in the right direction. They had a good thing with Hoyer. He goes down. You obviously go to Wheaton, and we know how that turned out. So Jason Campbell stepped up very well there. And I think one of the more impressive stories of the year is Josh Gordon, wide receiver. He'll probably lead the league in receiving, and he missed the first 2 games of the season. So he's obviously an up-and-coming big-time receiver in the National Football League. And if they can get a solid running back and probably a quarterback, the Browns are on the rise big time because that defense is getting there and that offensive line. Cleveland fans can get happy because I'm going to say this right now: the Browns may make the playoffs next year.
Yeah, I guarantee you if Hoyer had been still healthy, they would have made the playoffs this year. The way the AFC is going.
I know. I think what they're going to do is they're going to draft a quarterback, but I think they're going to give Hoyer an opportunity to come back and continue what he did to see if he can take the starting job.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
But I'm going to pick the Steelers in this game.
All right, nice. All right, so our next game is the battle for the NFC North title. And I got something to say before I make my pick. In 5 games, Rodgers had 2,200 yards and 15 touchdowns. 5 games. If he had played the entire season, he would have over 6,000 yards and probably over 50 touchdowns. If Rodgers had not gone down, the Packers would probably be sitting at, dare I say, 14-2, 13-3.
Something better for sure.
Yeah.
That game versus the Cowboys wouldn't have been a comeback. It would have been about double that. It was about 37-0.
Yeah, so that's all I'm going to say about Rodgers, his numbers. Eddie Lacy having a good year, 1,100 yards on the ground.
Rookie of the year.
Yep.
Rookie of the year.
Yep. And Cutler's played more games, and he only has 2,300 yards, so that tells you how good Rodgers is compared to Cutler. So, obviously, I'm going to pick the Packers to win this and take the NFC North and go to the playoffs 8-7-1. Shouldn't even have a tie to begin with. They should be 8-8 or even 9-7. I'll take 9-7. But Packers have a big step going into Soldier Field, and I think with Rodgers playing, I think it'll take him about a quarter to get back into the system. Or if he's just that good of a quarterback, he'll throw however many touchdowns right off the bat. But we'll see what happens. But I think Packers will win this game. They seem to have more determination than I think the Bears do at this point.
And they activated the Randall Cobb yesterday, so Randall Cobb will play.
All right, sweet. So they got full strength, other than Clay Matthews being out. A.J. Hawk only needs 11 tackles to become the best tackler in Packer history. 11 more tackles for him, and he is in the history books.
He's one of the more rated defensive players in the league. He just works, man.
Yep. He should be a Hall of Famer, just based on his tackle totals at this point. I think once he ends his career, he'll be definitely either a 2 times to get in or maybe even a 3 times to get in person. I think he's just that good. Even though if he is the Ohio State player, he has always been a good, solid middle linebacker in the league. So. Yep. So who you got, Kyle?
This Packers team impressed me. To do what they did against my Cowboys, I'm going to give them a lot of credit. To do it with Matt Flynn at quarterback, to do what they did against my Cowboys was impressive. Now, the Cowboys defense couldn't stop the second-grade Pee Wee team, but to beat it down as much as they were, to be in a hole, they could have just given up, but no, they wanted to continue their season, and this is what they've done. They got to the last game, and now they got all hands on deck. They got Rodgers back. They got Cobb back. Now they will miss Matthews. They will miss their defensive leader. But other guys will find a way to step up. But let's go to the Bears for a second. Bears had a chance to switch up this division last week, and they pooped the bed big time.
Woo! That game was awesome to watch as a Packer fan, man.
Defense just looked terrible, and that's why I think the Packers could have a big game today. Now, I think it'll take maybe a quarter or two for Rodgers to get into the ebb and flow of the game. But in the end, the team with the more talent and the team with the more heart that has fought more to get to this position will win this game. It's going to come down to a Mason Crosby field goal, but the Packers will be going to the playoffs as champions of the NFC North today.
If Mason Crosby hits, if he does not miss a field goal, if he misses one field goal today, I think he's allowed to miss one. Yeah, if he finishes the season with 85% completion, he gets a $800,000 raise. So he's gonna finish up and make it count. I know I would with that much money. I think it was Sean Phillips. If he gets a couple more tackles and a sack today against the Raiders, then he gets a $1.2 million extension. So he gets a signing bonus right there. But moving on to the Broncos game, Broncos and Raiders.
Good segue.
Yeah. Manning going into the black hole. They're 5-2 on the road. Raiders are only 3-4 at home, which is really weird to see. I'm picking the Raiders. Yeah, I can't pick the Broncos, man. I can't do it.
Wow. I'm going to go with the Broncos just because I think there's a lot of turmoil now. There's been a lot of controversy this week that some of the guys, that agents for Terrell Pryor, because Terrell Pryor will be starting playing, the agents came out and said that they're setting him up to fail. And I can see something like that in the Oakland Raiders organization, even though Al Davis has gone fast. He's one of the greatest owners of all time, just win big. But I just think Broncos are the better team. Broncos are going to head into the playoffs, get that one seed on a high note, and I just think now a little hint at our preview show for the playoffs. If the team has deep threats in the playoffs, Broncos are in trouble. So Broncos defense couldn't stop me and Tyler on a good day.
They couldn't stop me, period. Boom.
Exactly. I just think Raiders are getting there. If they can get McFadden healthy for one full season, they need a receiver, a number one receiver like a Sammy Watkins, explosive receiver that can go out and get the football. They need a quarterback. I thought Terrell Pryor may have been the guy, but obviously not. So then they look at a quarterback as well. Defensively, they had a very veteran defense that looked very good for what I thought there would be this season. They need to get better so they need to get younger a little bit. So I just think the Broncos won today.
All right, I see how it is. All right. The Bills, who are 6-9, but they do head into a Patriots team, into Foxborough, take on the Patriots, actually, who are 7-0 at home. Dear Lord. Bills, Patriots, Foxborough, division matchup. If Patriots win, then they clinch the second spot. If they lose, then they drop to the fourth spot. Simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to pick Brady. Pick Brady and the Pats to beat the Bills. Bills will play very well with Manuel. Actually, Thaddeus is Manuel. No, it's going to be Thaddeus Lewis again, or Thad. I think he actually he literally changed his name to Thad. I'm pretty sure, because he used to be Thaddeus. So I'm going to go with Patriots, but I think it will be a good game. I really do think it will be a good game. That's always a good game in Foxborough between the Bills and the Pats.
Yep, and the Bills, do what they've done, go through so many injuries at the quarterback position. To finish 6-9, and there are a couple of good breaks away from being maybe 9-7. Lost to the Falcons, and losing to the Patriots earlier in the year. But inside the division, they lost to the Jets and the Patriots won. I think they're going to pull out the stops. They've got nothing to play for, except a good record for the Niners to fall back to 6-0. The thing that's scary to me about this team is how good that defense was this season.
Yeah.
They should have the defensive rookie of the year, Kiko Alonso, middle linebacker. Their secondary is getting so much better. And then that line, man, that defensive line has been scary down in Buffalo. If they can stay fully healthy next year, the Bills can the Bills can legitimately compete for the AFC East crown. I'm kind of disoriented right now.
Wow.
I drank soda too much last night.
Yeah, too much root beer, man. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I drank so much root beer.
It's okay,
But
Kyle.
I think they're going to pull out all the stops. I think this is actually going to be a very, very, very good game. I think it comes down to a Steven Gostkowski field goal with little time left like it did in Buffalo in the past. Lock up the 2 seed.
Yeah, I think that the Bills will be good. You know, they had actually, you know, they'll be 6-10 possibly, but that record does not reflect how good that team is at all.
Absolutely, I agree.
Yeah.
100%. The team is getting better by the year.
Yeah, exactly. They were starting to get better. They remind me of the Panthers of last year, how they were getting better and better and better as the season got on and like kept on going. So we'll see what happens.
The defense will be forced to be reckoned with. So
Yep.
I like the Panthers.
Yep.
Embarrassing.
All right, Buccaneers head into the Mercedes Superdome with no blackouts this time to take on the Saints, who are 7-0 at home. They have not lost at all at home, but the minute they step outside, then they lose. So, which means they're 3-5 on the road. And let's see, they beat the Falcons in the dome. They beat the Buccaneers already. And they beat
I honestly don't have any idea who they beat.
Yeah. Oh, they beat the Saints, but that was at home too. Never mind. All right, so I mean not the Saints, the Cardinals. All right, so Buccaneers Saints, who you got, Kyle?
They also Rams on the road.
Yeah, on the road, yeah.
In this game, I mean, I'll backstory a little bit. Buccaneers win somehow, some way, and the Cardinals beat the 49ers.
Saints are out.
And funny story, last night the Arizona Cardinals tweeted out to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers Twitter account, a la Star Wars, help us at Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they're only open. So I think the Buccaneers will fight for their head coach, who is probably going to be coaching his last game, Greg Schiano, for their possible future quarterback, Mike Glennon, and just for the organization as a whole today. And a season what has been turmoil in the dome, but I just don't think it's going to be enough. I think Breeze leads the Saints marching in home, but he's going to have to go on the road next week, Charlotte. But
yeah,
I just think it's a W today.
Buccaneers win this game, clear and simple. They're going to win by a field goal. So that's all that's going to happen. Yep.
Wow.
Upset. Yep.
That's deep.
I did that because I hate the Saints, and I want the Cardinals to get in really bad because I got to stick with the red and black out there. So, but speaking of that game, good. That's a good segue. 49ers head into the red zone to take on the 6-1 at home Cardinals. Dangerous team at home. Carson Palmer playing well. 49ers, they really don't have to. They can probably rest their starters if they wanted to. They have. I don't think they can really move up any in the actual standings. So I'm picking the Cardinals to win just because we want them to win. And I'd like to see the Cardinals get into the playoffs and possibly go up to Lambeau or go to Philadelphia. So yeah, but Cardinals are going to win this game.
I'm picking the Cardinals as well. I think the Niners are built for a run, but I just think they're in the playoffs. They may sit some of their starters today. Especially if the Saints lose, they'll probably try to get back at the Saints and just sit a lot of their starters and accept where they go next week could be. Well, I scratched that. If the Seahawks jump out temporarily, if St. Louis is starting to beat Seattle, San Francisco will play their starters. If San Francisco wins and Seattle loses, San Francisco jumps to the 1 seed.
Really?
Yep.
Let's see.
San Francisco in the division. If the Seahawks lose and they win in the red zone, but as we know, it's very, very tough to win in the red zone. Who's the only team to do that this season?
Seahawks, yeah.
So, I think it showed the strength of the team last week. The Cardinals, Carson Palmer threw 4 interceptions. They should lose. In Seattle, they win.
I'm about to say it's kind of ironic that the only loss in Seattle is by the Cardinals, and the only loss in the red zone is the Seahawks.
Exactly, they got it back, which is Bruce Arians, regardless, honestly, probably deserves. I think he deserves Coach of the Year. You know, him or Ron Rivera. But I just think this team has done a phenomenal job. They made us the playoffs, but what a season it's been. They got something to build on. It's the best division in the NFL right now, the NFC West. Cardinals get the W. But the Niners, watch out. I may pick them next week to make a run. We'll see. But Niners, don't get down. Niners fans, don't get down on yourself after a loss today. They can make a run.
Yeah.
Get ready.
I think Andy Reid is up for Coach of the Year too. What he's done in Kansas City. Another good segue. The 6-1 on the road Chiefs. They're 6-1 on the road.
Ooh.
They're built to go to somewhere else in the playoffs. Go to the Qualcomm to take on the Chargers. Chargers win this game. They're in the playoffs with a loss by Miami, and I believe Baltimore too. So I'm picking the Chiefs to win. Because I don't think Andy Reid will want to go into the playoffs with another loss. He'll have his boys ready to go. That's clear and simple.
Yeah, well, they're locked into the 5 seed because no matter what, they will be in the 5 seed and they will play the 4th best division winner from this year. But I just think the Chargers have more to play for. If a lot falls their way in the early game, they could be possibly playing for a playoff spot. I don't think they will be, but I think it'll be an interesting storyline. I think the Chargers get the W. Chiefs, I don't know about the Chiefs. They're an enigma now to me. I just think they're struggling at the wrong time going into the playoffs. So I'm going to pick the Chargers.
I don't know if I'd say they're struggling. They only lost one game. Before the one game they lost last week, they scored 50-plus points 3 times.
Yeah, but I mean, they've lost all 4 of their losses. They're just not very. They've beaten the teams in the league that are not as good as them. They've beaten those teams. But they struggle against teams with winning records.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
That's why I'm picking the Chargers.
Good. All right. Let's see. Rams and Seahawks. Clemens playing good. Rams go into CenturyLink Field, take on the Seahawks, who are 6-1 at home. Who you got in this one, Kyle?
I think the Rams are going to battle in here. They may have the Defensive Player of the Year, Robert Quinn. He's had an outstanding season. 18.5 sacks. Incredible. If he can get to the Seahawks on the pass rush, if he gets 5 sacks, he'll set the all-time NFL record.
Yeah.
For a season. So I think this game will actually be very competitive. The Rams have nothing to play for except maybe a 500 record, which would, for me, be very surprising at that, especially with Ian Bradford. So that shows the testament that the team is getting better. Jeff Fisher is doing a good job with the Seahawks. Get the win. Russell Wilson steps up, and the defense wants to make amends for last week, especially the offense, and they want to make up for last week, and they locked up home field.
And look out, NFC.
Uh-oh.
Seahawks win. That's all I'm going to say. I'm going to say 4 points.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Then to the final game of tomorrow, the NFC East showdown between the Eagles going into AT&T Stadium, Cowboy Stadium, whatever the heck they want to call it every other season. Take on the Cowboys, who are 5-2 at home. 2 losses to the Broncos and Packers. Eagles away losses were, who are 5-2 on the way. I think the Eagles away losses were, let's see.
Vikings, one of them.
Yeah, Vikings, and I don't remember the other one. I'm about to say Raiders, but that's when Foles threw like the 85 touchdowns. So, all right. So who you got in this one, Kyle?
I mean, I'm not going to break loyalty here. I'm going to go with the Cowboys even in dark circumstances. Tony Romo, fantastic season. Just sometimes he felt the burden too much just to put the team where he needed the money they needed to go. I mean, an outstanding year. Probably one of his finest moments last week as a quarterback. Leads the Cowboys keeping their hopes alive. Now, tonight, there are very slim hopes tonight, but I think DeMarco Murray will play well. I think the defense will step up. They got to Nick Foles the first time and held the vaunted Eagles offense to 3 points. Now, the Eagles offense is very different now. They're on a roll. I just think the Cowboys find a way, make their owner proud, and head to the playoffs.
Yeah. After watching the Eagles Sunday night, and that game was, oh my God, it was at home, but still, I'm gonna have to go with Fly Eagles Fly, just because I think the way they're clicking right now, and if they allowed a big game to Lacey, LaShawn McCoy is gonna have a big game. And I think Foles will probably find the deep threat. Cowboys secondary isn't as good as it used to be. They need to fire Monty Kiffin really bad. I know you probably agree with me. They need something to go on defense, but I think it will be a good game. I think Eagles will win by 2 points in the end. 2 points will decide it, but I think it will be probably the third best game of the afternoon, behind the 49ers game, if everybody starts, the Packer game, and then the Eagles game. So I think that's how it will go. But so yeah, I think Eagles will win, but we'll see what happens. You know, you can never really tell. The Cowboys are pretty strong on Sunday nights. So
one game of the division championship too.
Yep.
One game.
Yep.
Anything can happen.
Yep. All right, so moving on to our bowl matchups, Kyle. All right, I got the bowl list. I didn't actually see the text that you sent me, but I got a couple that I kind of pointed out to myself. I was like, hey, maybe we should look at this one and pick them. First one tomorrow is going to be Ole Miss and Georgia Tech in the Music City Bowl. Who you got in this one?
I got Ole Miss. I think Ole Miss, team on the rise in the SEC, had a very impressive season. Tough schedule, managed it well, beat teams like LSU and Texas. Competed with Auburn. I just think Georgia Tech's offense, you can read it at halftime. I mean, at halftime you can just be like, all right, guys, we got to stop the triple option. Here's how we do it. So, easy to read offense. I just think Ole Miss, the athleticism, they got some athletes on the defensive side of the ball. They'll find a way to contain Georgia Tech and get the W in the Music City Bowl. Yeah,
I think Ole Miss will win. Georgia Tech, I'm a huge Georgia Tech fan, but dear God.
Oh, I am too, but I can't stand that offense.
I mean, I like the offense. It's old school football. They've been throwing the ball more, but still, you know, they don't have the receivers like Demaryius Thomas and Calvin Johnson anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see. We'll see. I think Ole Miss will win, though. The Alamo Bowl, Oregon and Texas. Number 10 Oregon at that. Which is pretty much home field advantage for Texas. So.
Is Mac Brown the final hurrah?
Yep. So, I'm gonna pick Oregon. I think they should. I think they should beat Texas. Texas is so streaky, but then they suck. They're inconsistent. So we'll see what happens. I think that Oregon's a better team all around than Texas, but I can't pick Texas. Oh, God.
No, I agree with you. I think Texas, just Baylor's obviously very similar to Oregon, and Texas plays out. Texas kept it close, but contained the defense. The defense contained them well, but in the end, they couldn't contain them. I think the same thing's going to happen for Oregon. Obviously, they're going to come out inspired and play good football for Mac Brown in his final coaching game. What a magnificent job he's done at Texas, winning that national championship back in '06, bringing them back to where they were, and then bringing them back to where they did not want to be. I just think Oregon is going to be way too much offensively, and defensively they want to leave. The seniors want to leave on a good note, like some of the ones who are in the NFL. So I think Oregon gets the job done in the Alamo Bowl tomorrow.
Yeah. Arizona State and Texas Tech in the Holiday Bowl. A little late for the Holiday Bowl, but you know. I guess technically New Year's is the holiday. Yeah. Let's see. I'm gonna pick Arizona State. I gotta go with my Pac-12. I think Texas Tech is taking a downturn. I don't even know how they even made a bowl. After starting off pretty hot, they kind of sucked it up at the end. But I think Arizona State has a better team, and I think the that spread air raid offense will probably tear that Texas Tech defense to shreds. So.
Yeah, I think Arizona State is a very fantastic surprise. Graham has done a great job there. Now, granted, they got their lucky breaks at some point in the season, but regardless, getting to the Pac-12 championship game and having a chance to go to the Rose Bowl is incredible for a team that was picked to finish third or fourth in that division.
Yeah.
So I think Arizona State's going to win this game. Texas Tech, I'm starting so well, struggled down the stretch. Coach Kingsbury's a good coach on the rise. They just need to get that defense in sorts. They have a first-round pick in the tight end, Jason Morrow. Watch out for him. He's a very good player. So, but I got Arizona State in the Holiday Bowl.
Yeah. And the AdvoCare V100 Bowl, oh my God.
Woo!
Arizona and Boston College play each other. And
Bring a leg, Anderson Silva.
Yeah. What a splitting decision that was.
Oh.
God. There were so many bad jokes coming out. I guess he won't be doing the hokey pokey anytime soon.
Oh.
I'm going to go with the team from Tucson, Arizona, AU versus Boston College. They completely shut down Marcus Mariota in that running offense at Oregon. I can see them completely shutting down Boston College, completely. But I do think that what's his face will have a good game on the ground. Of course, is it Andre Williams? Is that right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he'll have a good game. I think Arizona's a better team though. Their defense is better, I think, than Boston College. But that game will be probably the surprise of Tuesday. In all honesty, of all the games, even though the Chick-fil-A Bowl is that night, I just think it may be the better game all around.
I do think it's going to be a very good game. I mean, obviously, you got the two of the best running backs in the country going head-to-head when the offense is on the field. Kadeem Carey and Andre Williams. Kadeem is more finesse. Andre is more power. Now, I think both of these running backs are spectacular. I think both of these teams, to get to this point, especially Boston College and what they've done the past couple of years, is incredible. Arizona, Rich Rodriguez speaks to the testament of his coaching philosophies. He came from Michigan, where he flunked. It's horrible. And he came to Arizona, small guy. And he's done a fantastic job at Arizona. So I'm going to pick Arizona in this game, but I do think, bold prediction, both running backs will have over 200 yards in the game.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just thinking about running backs remind me of that UCF running back that ran over that guy at Rutgers.
We're going to get to him in a minute.
I saw that picture of him just like lowering his head and the guy just like going like right underneath him. It looked like Earl Campbell back in the day. Oh my God. The Hyundai Sun Bowl, UCLA and Virginia Tech on CBS at 2 p.m. How about that? You know, I got the time and everything and the channel. So, yep. But I'm gonna pick UCLA against Virginia Tech. I don't know. That's hard to do, but the Hokies just suck.
Yeah,
so.
I just think UCLA is a better team. Hundley, what could be his final collegiate game. I hope he comes back because that will make Pac-12 football amazing next year. I just think UCLA is a more talented team. Jim Mora, what a fantastic job of doing over at that school. Possibly, I mean, he's going to have them in the hunt for a national championship if Hundley comes back. So I prefer if Hundley comes back. He's a good quarterback. If you want to see his audition for the NFL or his second bowl game, watch that game. But I just think the Hokies struggling. Logan Thomas, after everybody thought he was the greatest after the Sugar Bowl, thought he was on the rise. He really went back down the total pole. They got some good defensive players, the Bowlers, great defensive players, but I just think UCLA is a more talented team. And all of 12 people in El Paso will be excited to see this game.
Yeah. Yeah. And 4 of them are blind, and they can't even watch the game. So, all right. Now the Helen Kellers will come out. That was kind of low. I'm sorry. God. So many bad jokes. 8 o'clock that night, Duke versus Texas A&M, the Chick-fil-A Bowl. Yay, Kyle's going in. Mark is going. Yay. Woo. Who you got in this one, Kyle? Obviously, you got Johnny Football, right?
Oh, yeah. Johnny Football, probably his last hurrah as a college quarterback, and let me just say, I, for one, I think a lot of people around the country think he's one of the greatest playmakers, even in 2 years. He was one of the greatest playmakers of our time, one of the best college football players in recent memory, just in terms of playmaking and thrilling us to no end. I think if he gets with the right team, he's going to have a solid NFL career. But other guys, it's not just Johnny's last game. It's probably going to be Mike Evans' last game, 6'6" receiver, incredible player. Jake Matthews, the offensive tackle, who's been a staple of that offense, protecting Johnny Manziel. He's going to I think he'll be a top first-round pick. He'll be a top 10 pick. So, his final game. And on the Duke side of the ball, I'm going to give Duke some love. Jay Crowder, his final game. Great return man, great running back, great wide receiver. He's an all-around player. And David, I'm glad your team was here. You may not win this game, but you guys have done a phenomenal job. And I'm excited to see them play. I just think A&M is a more talented team, and Johnny's going to want to have a good game. Kind of like an audition for NFL scouts, especially on New Year's Eve. The entire nation will be watching. So I'm going to have Texas A&M.
I want to go with the Duke Blue Devils, get their first 11-win season in school history.
Duke?
Yeah.
Where's the TV? Oh,
Doogies! Yeah, I'm going to pick Duke. I think Texas A&M will probably win, but I want to pick Duke just because they have so much heart. And it's like probably one of the best stories in college football this year, if not the best. So just because they haven't done crap their entire existence in football, at least since the 40s. But yeah.
This will be the last ACC versus SEC Chick-fil-A Bowl.
Yeah. Exactly. What two teams to have it there? God.
Next year, in the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl, Oregon takes on TCU.
South Valparaiso State takes on North Dakota State.
What about the Fighting Artichoke?
Oh my God. We just have like a whole like vegetable patch fighting in one of the bowls. All right. Moving on to Wednesday, January 1st, New Year's Day. Nebraska and Georgia in the TaxSlayer.com Gator Bowl. Oh my God.
Do I have to pick somebody? Do I have to?
No, we'll say somebody will win in that game. We're not going to pick that game. Screw it.
Somebody will win. I don't care who it is. I hope it's neutrality. I hope it's Switzerland.
Yeah. Maybe the refs will make it a tie. They'll get the refs from the NFL from last year.
Somebody forfeit.
Yeah.
Don't play the game. You played last year in a bowl game. Why would the bowl committee want that again?
Well, most of the Georgia players probably can't read their plane tickets anyways, so.
And most of them can't board because of their injuries.
They have to walk. They have to hobble.
How's your ACL feeling, Aaron?
Yeah.
I thought. You know who knocked you out of your career? You know who screwed your career up? How about this cat? Woo!
Yeah. It's okay, Aaron Murray. We all know that you'll graduate after your 5 years of college, and then you'll probably go to the NFL and probably break your other leg. So.
Anderson Silva style.
Yeah, Anderson Silva style, yeah. Or you'll come back and only play 10 games and re-tear something else.
I'm gonna pick Georgia in this game. As much as I think my stomach's already reacting. It's coming, but I'm picking Georgia.
All right, we'll move on. We'll move on real quick, okay? I can't pick anybody. I hate both teams, so I'll leave it with you on that one. But moving on, number 19 Wisconsin versus number 9 South Carolina, Capital One Bowl. Like Brett Musburger, Capital One Bowl. So, I guess I'll pick South Carolina, Connor Shaw. If that even is his name, right?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Man, I don't even know. But yeah, South Carolina. I think Wisconsin will play a really good game, but I think South Carolina will probably win. That defense, Javion's last college game, he'll go about 20% like usual, but and he'll take more photos with cops.
Oh my goodness. Davian, me and my boy. I got South Carolina too. Connor Shaw, to say what he's done as a starting quarterback is incredible as an understatement. 21-1 as a starter at South Carolina, the only loss coming to Georgia earlier this year in Athens. So that's a respectable loss. I think South Carolina, obviously Jadavion, his final audition for the NFL, regardless, he'll probably be a top 5 pick. If he comes to Atlanta, sorry, Jadavion. I just think South Carolina, they're a young team. They're on the rise. They're returning the most starters out of any team in the country next year. They're going to be something to watch next year. But for now, Shaw and Clowney have their day in the sun and lead on a high note. Wisconsin will play very well, though. I think this is going to be a very good game. Last 2 years, South Carolina stomping Michigan, stomping Nebraska. I think this year is different. I think this is going to be a very good game. Third straight Big Ten bowl game for South Carolina, but let's see if South Carolina can get the job done this time.
This is like how many years in a row Wisconsin's gone to a BCS bowl?
Yeah, they've gone about 3 or 4 years in a row.
Yep. So
this is the first non-BCS bowl in a couple of years.
Yep. So.
Hey, we'll be able to see the team support the Rose Bowl this year.
I know, right? Oh my God. All right. Moving on to the Rose Bowl game. I'm gonna skip the Outback Bowl. I really don't. I mean, come on.
Let's just make a quick pick. I'll pick LSU. It's gonna be close. Iowa plays a tough brand of football. So I'm picking LSU.
I'll go with I agree with you. I'm not actually gonna say it. I can't say that. Yeah. All right. Rose Bowl game. Stanford, Michigan State, number 5 versus number 4. Probably going to be the best game of the entire bowl season. Maybe, depending on how well the national championship game. And I think the Fiesta Bowl will be good too. That's just me personally.
That's just you. Yeah.
But I mean, heck, UCF. Oh my God, UCF had played very well against the SEC school, so it was a Big 12 school. Let's see.
All right, let's go back to the Rose Bowl.
Yep. Stanford, Michigan State. Who you got in this one, Kyle? I know you got Stanford, right?
My pick was Sparty for the longest time, but losing Max Boa is going to hurt this team. And not so fast. They're going to lose a big player. Mark Antonio is told this team to fight on defense. And this is their goal. One of their goals was to get to the Rose Bowl. They did it. That's not just their only goal. They want to win the Rose Bowl.
Yeah.
And I think they do that. I think, personally, they will finish the 3rd-ranked team in the country with this win, which for Michigan State football is incredible. So I thought Stanford, this is going to be a old-school, physical football game. But in the end, Michigan State, the team that wants it more. Stanford's been here. They're complacent with last year. They won it last year. Oh, let's win it again. They're going to get complacent. And I think Michigan State is going to win this football game.
Battle of the defenses, period.
I know you're going to love this game. I know you're going to love this game.
Yeah, and I love both teams. Pac-12 versus Big Ten. Love Michigan State, like Stanford. Even though they did beat USC in 3 overtimes a couple years ago, and that broke my heart. But those are usually the best games of the Pac-12. But I'm going to go with Sparty. They've had probably the best year they've had since they beat Georgia. That was hilarious on a field goal. But I'm going to go with Michigan State. I personally think they should be in the conversation for the national title just because they're 12-1. They win, they'll be 13-1. Florida State, if they win, they'll be 14-0, which will be the first time, which will be the 3rd time ever that teams finished like that. So, but I think that Michigan State will win.
Yep. Antonio, I'm surprised his name hasn't been turned into the Texas job.
Yeah, he won't leave. He has too much of a good thing going at Michigan State, like he has for the last 10 years. UCF and Baylor, Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Now, a couple years ago, there was a no-name team in the Fiesta Bowl. They took down Adrian Peterson. I'm not gonna say any names, but it was also Boise State. But I'm gonna pick UCF in this game. I gotta roll with my Knights. There's no way that I'm gonna go against them after they beat Louisville and they lost to South Carolina by 3 points. So
I think UCF's a great team, and I do. Surprisingly, the 2 best quarterback prospects in next year's draft are from the American Athletic Conference, which is shocking.
Yeah, Boydell's is supposed to be going to the Texans.
Now, he may come back to school, though.
Yeah.
Which is the point. This may not be his final game. This is UCF's biggest game ever. But this is going to be the best team athletically and physically they've met all seasons in Baylor. I just don't think they'll be able to keep on them. I just think it's a different level play, and I just think Baylor, I'm not saying Baylor may drop 60. I don't think they will. But I think Baylor wins this one big. Baylor could have been playing for the national championship, and they know that. So I'm going to go with Baylor.
There you go. January 2nd, All-State Sugar Bowl, Oklahoma and Alabama. Yeah. Is it really that, like, do I have to literally say it? Are we pretty much going to say roll tide, period, but done?
Roll tide.
Yeah, roll
I mean,
tide.
AJ McCarron, you and me both, you got to give AJ McCarron all the credit in the world.
Credit?
If it wasn't for
All the credit?
No.
Continue, I'm sorry.
If it wasn't for an unlucky kick fix for Auburn, they may be playing for another national championship. But to do what he's done at Alabama, fantastic. I think that they're going to roll Oklahoma and roll in the next season as one of the top teams in the country again.
Yep.
But thank you, AJ McCarron. You've had a great career, and it's going to be sad to see you go, but good luck in the NFL.
Yeah, I hope he does do decent in the NFL. I think he will. You know, they haven't really had any good Alabama quarterbacks come out recently, so maybe he can change the tide of that.
Yeah. Fun there.
I know. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's just it rolls just right off the tongue, kind of like how people roll their ankles in UFC fights. But I guess it gives a new meaning to shin splints.
And maybe someone won't skip leg day next time in the gym.
Yeah, he was cut down to size.
He should have taken a Flintstone vitamin.
Oh my god. She used the shake weight more. The Cotton Bowl, Okie State versus Missouri. January 3rd on Fox. Dang, man.
What's the announcer that could honestly make water polo exciting? Gus Johnson.
Oh my god, really?
Yes.
Oh my god, he could probably make regular polo look exciting. He's on the horse! Whoa, he scored!
Like somebody walking around in the middle of Walmart exciting. Oh my gosh, she's going to a polo session! She's doing 20! She's doing 10!
Somebody reading a book. He read the third line. Holy crap!
He went the third line. He's to the 40, the 50, the 40.
Okay, but all seriously, who you got in this game?
I got Mizzou, man. I think Mizzou is one of the better stories in the country. You look at the SEC championship. We'll get to Auburn next week, because we're going to pick that next week because the game's not until next month. But to do what they've done, Missouri Tigers picked to finish 6-6. 5-7 again after a disappointing year last year. This team ain't nothing. They're never going to be anything in the SEC. They're not like A&M. They're never going to be as big as A&M in the SEC. Everybody wrong. James Franklin follows me on Twitter, by the way. JFrankTank1, if you want to follow. Franklin is one of the better stories in the country. He's a very good quarterback. He's really helped the team. And got another great story. Henry Josie, running back, broke almost everything in his leg a couple years ago, and he rushed for 1,000 yards this season. It's incredible.
Is he related to Anderson Silva?
Oh, no. But you look at the receiving corps: Dorian running back, LaDainian Washington, Lucas, Sasser. I mean, this team, and then the defensive side of the ball, they'll have actually three surefire NFL players next year: Michael Sam and Cody Ely on the edges. On the line, and in the back, at secondary, E.J. Gaines. This team, nobody thought that it was this talented. I never thought they'd be this good for sure, but I thought they were talented. This team stepped up, won the SEC, played very good in the SEC championship, but couldn't stop Auburn, and let's face it, the only team that did stop Auburn was LSU. So, I'm going to pick Missouri. Now, not to take anything away from Oklahoma State, they're a good team too. Clint Shelf had a good year. This is a good team going forward. It's just Missouri, your stage. They sold out all their tickets. They're going to have a good crowd there. So I think Missouri wins this game.
I think it'll be a good game. I think Missouri will win, but since I didn't pick the Cowboys back in the NFL picks, I'm going to have to pick the Cowboys now. Okie State over Missouri. I like Missouri a lot, but I'm going to pick Okie State just to kind of just to see what happens. It's not like the Alabama pick where I can't pick Oklahoma. Ugh.
Yeah.
But Missouri, they should win the game, but I'm just going to pick the Cowboys just for fun. Discover Orange Bowl. Whoever wins gets a bunch of oranges. Last time we talked about the Orange Bowl on my channel was whenever NC State won it against UCF or USC. And I made that amazing montage. Not as cool as the FIFA one, but that's just me. Be quiet. Come on now. It's a privilege for you to be on this show, Kyle. Don't screw it up.
Yes, it is, and I'm thankful for it.
All right. Orange Bowl, Clemson, Ohio State. All right.
Wait. If you listen quietly, you can still hear Ohio State fans sobbing.
I know. It's not their fault. There's a mass power outage and the Xbox is cut off.
Is it raining down there?
It should be.
Well, it's not going to be rain. That's probably going to be Ohio State fans' tears. So, just FYI.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm picking Clemson. I can't pick Ohio State.
I'm picking Clemson too, just because I think Bryce Miller is going to be sobbing through half of it. I also think Urban Meyer is going to be sitting down on a golf cart eating pizza. So, I think Clemson looks ready to play. So Ohio State put all their eggs into the national championship basket, and we saw where that got them. So Clemson is better, more prepared for this game. They want to make a statement, win a game, big game, get ready for next season without Boyd and Watkins in their final game at Clemson, probably. I just think Ohio State, they'll be back next year. It's just that I don't see any of those Ohio State fans jumping around going, I don't see that anymore. So if I pick Ohio State, I'm pretty sure I'll just burst into flames or just explode or something like that. So I'm picking Clemson.
Yeah, Urban Meyer's not even on the field. He's going to be up picking the games. He's going to be back on his broadcasting duties.
Oh, wait, no, he's got a heart problem. He's going to have to retire.
That's not very nice. Not very nice at all, Kyle.
Come on. You know that was a crock. He said, I'm going to retire to the time of my family. It takes 1 year, and then he goes to Ohio State.
Well, he probably missed it. I mean, look at freaking Brett Favre. Good God. All right.
He's back.
I guess we gotta go to the Saturday game since I probably won't be home until Sunday. So, or I'll be home Saturday, but it will be too late to pick. So, do we want to do the Compass Bowl or the Go Daddy Bowl, or do we just want to leave it for the national championship next week?
Yeah, we leave those before that. We'll leave the national championship for next week, but we'll leave those other bowls. Who cares?
Yeah. Arkansas State, Ball State, and Vanderbilt and Houston. So that's those games.
Oh, go Vandy.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt sold out all their bowl tickets, so I'm going to go doors, anchor down.
Yep. All right. So we are done, Kyle, with the regular season football talk for the NFL and pretty much the NCAA. So I only have maybe 4 more, maybe 5 more, 5 more of these episodes, maybe. Maybe. So as always, I thank you. I already did our self-plug, so there's no need. Kyle Lance 30. I am Marksman. I _ Marksman. So yeah. So Kyle, anything you want to say as a final little thing before we've gone over an hour and 3 minutes?
No, happy New Year. I think you'll have a wonderful New Year. I'm going to hopefully have a wonderful New Year finding a blonde in downtown Atlanta. But
oh my God.
Nah, but John really has a good game. I hope Packers win today, so Tyler will be in a very good mood, and maybe that'll force him to root for the Cowboys, and hopefully we can both be happy at the end of the day. So,
but it's so much fun to hear you get mad, Kyle, and punch all your walls.
I mean, no, you aren't just like a plate.
I know what blonde you're looking for down there too, Kyle. So don't.
I also want to give a shout out to my Kentucky basketball, beating Louisville. Rick Pitino, you can learn about the referees all you want. You're still a girl. You also raped a 25-year-old girl. So you're back talking when everybody, you're at the business meeting, everybody goes, Ricky, way to go, baby.
Shout out to Louisville football for destroying the Canes last night.
I feel bad for my Canes, but the Canes will rise next year, get better than ever, get stronger, get his back. Even Lawrence did a great job in Miami. He's sad that he's gone, but he's really brought them back. Good for him.
Yep. All right, Kyle. Thanks for calling in.
All right. Yeah, thanks. No problem, man. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon.
All right, see ya.
See ya.
All right, so thank you everybody for listening to Football Talk episode 15. I am Marksman, and I hope you guys all have a glorious holiday. We'll see you next week for episode 16 as we break down the NFL playoffs and go ahead and move on to the BCS National Championship game. Last time the BCS National Championship game will actually be called the BCS National Championship game. Nice to say that, finally, after so long. But as always, thank you guys for watching, and I hope you guys have a good day. Peace out.